Slow land changes take a long time, and we break it into weathering, erosion, and deposition. Now, these all go hand in hand, so it can be kind of confusing, but how you can remember it is weathering is the breaking down of rocks, and I always do this when I do it. Weathering is the breaking down of rocks. This is lame, but you should do it at home too. Erosion. Erosion is the movement of sediment, well, the movement of sediment from broken rock, but is the movement of sediment. And sediment would be the pieces of the rock that break off. And then deposition is the dropping of sediment in a new place. So last year we would always do like a mic drop, like over there, or you can think of like throwing something. So the weathering is the breaking of the rock. The erosion moves the pieces that got broken off, and deposition is putting it in a new place. Until it's been deposited or put in a new place, it's not deposition. So let's talk about some examples. Weathering, the breaking down of rocks. That could happen with water, ice, wind, animals, or growing plants. Here you can see some pictures of weathering. It's crazy, the rock formations that occur from weathering. It's so cool. So these could be examples from a mixture of these things. I'm thinking this bottom one's probably wind. That top one looks like, I bet, plants and water and wind. I've got a couple more examples. We can see water can cause these rock formations to form from just washing over it over and over. So you can think about coastlines and rivers and streams and the rocks that are in there. Think about how those rocks in the bottom of a stream got so smooth. We have something called ice wedging. I think this is my favorite. And ice wedging is so cool. What happens is the water will seep down into the rocks, right? It seeps down in here. And then when water freezes, it expands. So the water expands and pushes the rock apart as it freezes. And then it causes these big old cracks. It's super cool. That's called ice wedging. And it's causing the rocks to break apart. That's the whole point. Here we see weathering caused by growing plants, by roots. The roots are pushing into rocks and breaking the rocks apart or cracking them. And then also here we see some cute little dudes in a little hole that they made that broke down that rock by digging a hole or whatever they did. Now let's move to erosion. Erosion is the movement of sediment. So you can think about, we had some type of rocks breaking off, right? Now those broken pieces that got broken off are going to get moved through erosion. So erosion agents, water, glaciers, wind, gravity. We can see here, up here, erosion caused by water. That water is going to carry away these rock pieces down this river, whatever it is. And as it continues to take more and more pieces, as the river continues to move that sediment, we can see that what's left is a very changed landscape. Down here, this is called a glacier. And glaciers are big sheets of packed ice and snow. You can think like ice caps, right? And what's crazy is that glaciers can move. So these glaciers slowly are melting a little and refreezing and melting a little and refreezing and slowly moving over, millions of years or thousands of years. And what they do is they form these valleys as the glacier moves. And you can see before and after pictures of where there used to be glaciers and now it's like beautiful green land. And there's these big U-shaped valleys formed from glaciers. Erosion can also be caused by wind and gravity. So you can see here the wind, and maybe that wind is carrying like some sand or something too. The wind is going to pick up those little pieces of rock, because remember, erosion is the movement. It's going to pick those pieces of rock, and the wind is going to blow them away. Or gravity might cause erosion, and the force of gravity might move those pieces of rock that broke off from weathering, might move those pieces of rock down a hill, down a cliff. And here it says gravity caused by erosion, slump, creep, landslides, mudslides, and avalanches. So we've got a movement downward of sediment or broken rock.